Every morning, without fail, my father would stand at the edge of the road, waiting for the same jeepney. He had this quiet ritual. He'd let everyone else get on first. Old women clutching their market bags, students with heavy backpacks, office workers in a hurry. He'd just wait patiently. And if it came down to it, if there was only one single seat left, he gave it away. Every single time. He'd just smile, wave them on, and wait for the next one. As a kid, I never really understood it. I'd watch him from our window, feeling a mix of confusion and, honestly, a little bit of embarrassment. I thought he was just being overly polite, or maybe he was just weak, too soft. The kind of person who lets everyone walk all over them. I'd think, Dad, just get on the jeepney. You're going to be late. I thought his kindness was a flaw, something that made him less than the other fathers who seemed so much more assertive and in control. I couldn't see the strength behind his gentle smile, but then came one rainy afternoon. The kind where the sky is dark gray and the rain just doesn't stop. It was one of those days that changed everything I thought I knew about him. I was on my way home from school, and I saw him standing there at his usual spot. But this time, something made me stop. I decided to follow him. I hid behind a large mango tree, watching. The jeepney pulled up, splashing water onto the sidewalk. As always, it filled up in seconds. A chaotic scramble of people trying to get out of the rain. Soon, only one seat remained. A pregnant woman stood hesitating, her hand on her belly, looking unsure. She was soaked. My father, who was right at the door, took a step back. I heard his voice, soft but clear over the sound of the rain. "Go ahead," he said. He helped her up the steps. The jeepney pulled away, its bright headlights disappearing into the downpour, leaving my father standing alone on the wet roadside. I expected him to wait for the next jeepney. That's what he always did, right? But he didn't. He turned, pulled his worn-out jacket tighter around himself, and started to walk. I was stunned. The construction site where he worked was nearly 6 kilometers away. Walking? In this rain? I followed him from a safe distance, my heart pounding in my chest. I felt like a spy, uncovering a secret I wasn't meant to see. Each step he took seemed heavy, labored. The rain plastered his thin shirt to his back. Cars and trucks sped past, splashing him with muddy water, but he didn't seem to notice. He just kept walking, his head bowed against the wind. With every kilometer, a knot of dread tightened in my stomach. This wasn't just a casual stroll. This was a grueling journey. Why was he doing this? Why not just take the jeepney? When he finally reached the small, muddy construction site, my heart broke a little. He ducked into a makeshift shed, and when he came out, he had changed into old, tattered work clothes. And then, he started to work. He began lifting heavy bags of cement, one after another. His movements were slow but steady. He'd hoist a bag onto his shoulder, his body straining under the weight, and carry it across the site. The same body that had just walked 6 kilometers in the pouring rain. The man I thought was weak was doing work that required immense physical strength, and I realized he must have been exhausted before he even started. That night, the image of him carrying those cement bags was burned into my mind. I couldn't eat. I couldn't do my homework. I waited for him to come home. When he walked through the door looking completely drained, I couldn't hold it in any longer. The words just tumbled out. Why? Why do you always give up your seat, Dad? My voice was trembling, a mix of anger and confusion. I saw you today. You walked all the way to work in the rain? He looked at me, and for a moment, he seemed surprised. Then, a soft, weary smile touched his lips. It wasn't a happy smile. It was a smile filled with a history of hardship I was only just beginning to understand. He sat down heavily on a wooden stool and looked at his calloused hands. "Because if I sit," he said, his voice barely a whisper, "if I get comfortable on that jeepney for even just 30 minutes, I might not have enough strength left for work." I just stared at him. The air left my lungs. The whole world seemed to stop. The kindness I had mistaken for weakness, the politeness I had found so frustrating. It was never about just being nice. It was a strategy. A brutal, heartbreaking act of self-preservation. "You're tired," I whispered, the words catching in my throat. "You're tired every single day, aren't you?" He slowly nodded, his eyes meeting mine. And in them, I saw a profound exhaustion that no amount of sleep could ever fix. But I also saw something else. A fierce, unwavering love. "Yes," he said. "I'm always tired." He reached out and put his hand on my shoulder. "But tired fathers build strong children." In that moment, everything clicked into place. The missed jeepneys, the long walks, The constant exhaustion, it was all a sacrifice. He was conserving every ounce of energy he had, not for himself but for us. His choice wasn't about weakness, it was about survival. It was about ensuring he could finish his grueling workday, earn the money we needed, and put food on our table. His quiet act of giving up a seat was his daily battle, his silent promise to provide. It was the most powerful display of love I have ever witnessed. His strength wasn't loud or flashy. It was quiet, enduring, and hidden in the simple, selfless act of letting someone else take the last seat. Thank you so much for watching. If this story touched your heart, please consider liking the video and subscribing to our channel for more stories that matter. We'll see you in the next one.